as people, we're continually engaged with other people, with our parents, sisters, brothers, friends, lovers. Our relationships are vital to our well-being, even to our survival. So it's not a surprise that anxiety about the possibility of being rejected is nearly universal. But people differ in the degree to which rejection is a concern for them. People who are high in this concern have a greater likelihood of deeply troubling relationships. Social psychologists call this dynamic rejection sensitivity. Our goal was to investigate possible psychological interventions. I'll give you some background, I'll talk about the study we completed, and then I'll touch upon our current study, which arose out of the questions coming from our first study. But first, I'll fix these technical difficulties.
Don't be afforded first.
Yeah, good. So, people who are rejection sensitive at core anxiously expect to be rejected. They readily perceive rejection in ambiguous situations, and they overreact. So, to illustrate, let's say you're in a dating relationship. Where are you in the continuum? Are you more likely to think, hey, this is great, or gonna dump me soon? Let's say that you're supposed to get a call from this person that you're dating, and the time comes and it passes, 10 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, an hour. Are you more likely to think, doing it on purpose, or must have forgotten? And then when the person finally calls 2 hours, 3 hours later, do you answer the phone and say, hey there, is everything okay? Or do you say, why didn't you call when you're supposed to? The second response is more characteristic of people who are high in rejection sensitivity. Can easily elicit the behavior that they fear, rejection. Thus, rejection sensitivity is a self-fulfilling prophecy, can be a downward spiral. Possible consequences: isolation, depression, aggression. So, rejection sensitivity at core is anxious expectation of rejection. That means it's composed of anxiety, a negative emotion we feel when we think something bad is going to happen, and expectation, a cognition or thought, a belief about the likelihood of an event, in this case, rejection. So now that I've discussed rejection sensitivity, I'll talk about why we thought positive emotions in general and gratitude specifically would have an effect. So why a positive emotion? The broaden and build theory of positive emotions has suggested and has found that when people are made to feel positive emotions, that it broadens their capacity to take other people's points of views. In the illustration that I just cited, it might be easier, following positive emotion, to just simply say, oh, I know he's got a presentation come up, might be stressed, might have forgotten. Or she's got a big meeting with the boss, might have been stressed, might have been forgotten. Also, it broadens or increases the number of action urges, positive action urges a person can have. Not necessarily relationship-oriented. It could be, I want to go for a walk, I want to have a snack, I want to call a friend, I want to watch something fun, something like that. And these sorts of things, you can see, would make it easier for the person to get out of themselves, out of their anxiety, out of their hostility, and cope with the possible rejection better. And finally, it's been shown that positive emotions build on themselves, and that positive emotions elicit these more adaptive ways of thinking and actions, and this leads to more positive emotion, and so on. So we didn't just want positive emotion, though. We're thinking about gratitude specifically. Why gratitude specifically? Well, it's been shown that when people are high in gratitude, they also are higher in happiness. Also, when people express gratitude on a regular basis, that that increases their positive emotion to the extent that their family members can see it. Obviously, a more positive person in a relationship is going to get more acceptance and support feedback from their partner, and that might reduce rejection sensitivity. It's also been shown that when people are made to feel gratitude, that they become more helpful. It's a pro-social motivator. They report more helping behaviors. It's been shown that when they are helped out of a jam in a laboratory setting, an experiment, that when they're asked by a stranger, hey, can you help me out with this task? It's boring, it's long, but could you do it? They're more willing to do it and they take more time to do it. They're more likely to distribute their material goods if they believe that they received them as a gift rather than by chance. So if a person is more helpful in their relationships, again, the positive feedback they would get back might reduce the rejection sensitivity. Finally, rejection sensitivity and gratitude really contrast with each other. With RS, rejection sensitivity, you have the anxious expectation of rejection. With gratitude, if you bring it consciously to mind, you have the glad realization of acceptance and support. You know, directly combating, so to speak, the anxious expectation of rejection. So now that I've explained the positive emotion reason and the gratitude reason, I can go into my hypothesis, which is that expressing gratitude will reduce rejection sensitivity. Makes sense?